Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers and I'm back in the kitchen today. So today we're going to be making jam thumbprint cookies. I'm really excited to try these. I'm going to do some with several different kinds of jam. I think it's going to be delicious. And this one is a super easy recipe, so let's get started. All right, so I've already got a cup of room temperature butter in the mixer. So 2 sticks of butter in the mixer. And then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So there's 1, 2, 3/4, and then we're going to go ahead and beat this together. So we're beating that till it's nice and fluffy. I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of vanilla eyeball. There we go. We're going to do half a teaspoon of salt. There we are. And turn it off to put in 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So there's 1. That beater turned off sideways and that's kind of in the way. And 2. And while I've got that turned off, I'm going to go ahead and scrape the paddle here and the sides of the bowl so that everything gets mixed in good. All right, so we're going to turn that back on and let that flour get mixed in. All right, so I ended up having to go back and add just a dash of milk to that to get it to stick together better because it was way too crumbly. Now we've got something we can work with better here. If I can get it all scraped off the beater, right? So now what we'll do is we'll kind of shape it into a ball and put it in the fridge for 30 minutes to let it chill. A little bit of flour to let us work with it here so that we can shape it. No, that seems counterproductive. We had all that extra flour a second ago, right? There we go. Now it's a nice uniform dough. And I only added like a couple tablespoons of milk. So that's just something to keep in mind if yours is crumbly when you make it. So there we go. Beautiful. And now we can wrap it up and stick it in the fridge. All right, so the dough has been chilling for about 30 minutes. It is ready to use now. So what we're gonna do is just kind of make little balls. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. I'm making them about 1 inch. And then we're gonna put them on the pan. I'm gonna use my thumb to press a hole in them. That's where the jam will go in a little bit. So what happens is we shape them all, we bake them for about half the time that they need, and then we will pull them out and put the jam in and then finish the baking process. So if you can see that, what we have is a disc and then a hole in it. So we roll, flatten slightly, and then press with your thumb or the back side of a teaspoon, either way. I'm going to use my thumb just because it's easier than having to go back and forth between holding the spoon. Squish that one a little too much, there we go. And I have several flavors of jelly out. I'm going to do some of these with sweet jellies like the pear and the pumpkin butter. I'm going to do a few of them with some strawberry jalapeno. Just going to really experiment with these. I think they're going to be delicious either way. So I did have to go back and add those couple tablespoons of milk, and that has made this dough absolutely perfect to handle. So hopefully it bakes up beautifully as well. I always try to put a dozen cookies on each pan. Makes it a little easier to keep track of how many I've made if I make them in even batches. And it also tends to be a good number to get on there and not have to worry if you've got a recipe that kind of spreads a little. They don't tend to run into each other on the pan that way. I did line this pan with parchment paper just because baked jelly can be messy. So we're gonna kind of avoid a terrible cleanup process at the end. All right, so this is the last cookie, and then I'm going to be putting these into the oven to bake for about 5 minutes. I'll double check my recipe there. About 5 minutes. So there we go. There they are shaped, and they're on their way into the oven. All right, so these have been in the oven for a few minutes. We're going to pull them out and check them. So you can see they're kind of just starting to set. Some of those indentations have raised up a little bit, so I'm going to use the back of a spoon to sort of press them back down. Also going to turn off the timer so it'll leave us alone. Just pressing those back down, and then we'll fill each of those little holes with a different flavor of jam. So I've got just a little bit of strawberry lemonade left. I'm going to use it up. This was one of our summer flavors. We'll use that one. These are already smelling really good. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll hold it up for you in a second, but we're just putting that jam in the hole there. All right, and then I've got some strawberry jalapeno for a bit of a sweet and spicy. Ooh, that one smells really good. And that one does have the seeds in it, so hopefully nobody will get that one without a little bit of warning what they're about to get. All right. Oops, I'm making a mess with this one. It's a little stickier. It's kind of trailing across the pan there. Thankful for the parchment paper. All right. So then, now that these are filled and dripping, I'm going to put them back in the oven for about 4 to 5 minutes until they really start to set up. Okay, so I just took these out of the oven. The strawberry jalapeno really cooked out and made a big mess. But the strawberry lemonade stayed in good. So we're going to let them cool just a minute on the pan, and then we'll transfer them to a wire rack to cool. So these just have to sit here for a second and rest. All right, I'm going to take them off the pan now. See how they did. Like I say, that strawberry jalapeno kind of cooked out. It's a little bit of a softer jam, so it got soft and cooked out. The strawberry lemonade is looking really pretty though. You see it? Don't you want to eat it? Smells delicious. You can do this with any flavor. Blueberry, I just put orange clove in the oven, strawberry, peach. I assume you could do it with the scorpion even if you wanted to. I'm not that brave. I'm going to stick to the strawberry jalapeno. So we're just going to continue that same process. Like I say, I just put orange clove in the oven. but I got some more in the fridge that needs to be shaped, and so we'll get it shaped and get them put together. Other than that, we're down to the taste testing. So, I've got strawberry lemonade here, and it is still hot. Oh, y'all, that is amazing. That is good. Thank y'all for joining me in the kitchen today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you'll try to make some cookies with us. Y'all be sure and come back when you can stay longer.